Greetings and Happy New Year. It's much delayed Happy New Year. I've been busy at work and I'm going to be sharing that really soon. I know I keep saying that every video. Um, but isn't this an interesting start of the new year? So that's what I want to talk a little bit about that and also what's in my medicine cabinet. Stay tuned. I have a lot to say. Really quickly. So it's the pandemic, it's the crisis, the health crises, this virus that is spreading and jumping off of people and killing people. And initially, I was really shook about it, especially with looking at all of the news media coverage on it. Every second, every minute of every day, there was coverage on it. I got swept away by all of the hysteria, and I began to feel a little anxiety and a little distress because I'm already dealing with situations in my lungs, although I don't have COVID-like symptoms, but my lungs are very dear and the focus of my attention these days. And I felt how it feels to be starved of oxygen, and it's not for me. It's not a pleasant feeling. I'm claustrophobic. It's a quick way to make someone panic. So anyway, needless to say, I was very concerned with the media saying that, and health professionals saying that, people that with underlying conditions are especially susceptible to the virus. I was just like really leaning on, I was just really looking up to the heavens and saying, Father God. And then I remembered something. I remembered, fear not. I have been down this road before. I'm actually a veteran to this road, this place of the unknown, where the medical realm does not have answers or solutions. I have been living this since 2012. And I had to remember that myself, that there are natural remedies. There are antiviral natural remedies that have not been studied because the powers that be will say that it's untested and unproven. Well, they don't test and they don't prove it because they don't want it to be a remedy, because that cuts into their pocket. But these antiviral things, these immune boosting supplements and vitamins and minerals and herbs, we don't know what they can do. Clearly they are very beneficial, and whatever they can't antiquate in a lab about this corona to make a vaccine or to conquer it, I'm sure God has already put something in one of these herbs, and some in our natural, requirements and necessity to nourish our body with the minerals and vitamins and paying our security bills. So that's what I want to talk about. What's in my medicine cabinet? I did stock up on some things, and I do have some things on the way that I will mention. But yeah, just in case. I'm excited to be sharing again, so let me get right into it. Some things I'm not going to have here, and I have some honorable mentions. Some of the things I have on the way, so I'm going to mention those now before I get carried away and I forget to talk about them. But on the way, I have marshmallow root, which is supporting to the lung. And I will have information below that talks more about the benefits of marshmallow root. And I have, of course, black seed oil on the way. I don't believe in taking black seed oil every day as a way of living. I think that God has equipped the body to uh, if we give it what it needs, it can live. I know people that take black seed oil every day as a religion. I like to say things like that for when I am about business and about stumping out, immediate threats, colds, sore throats, viral things. I will hit it with some black seed oil. So I have some of that on the way. And I would just take the recommended dosage, in the morning and at night, as only as the symptoms persist, I would do that. But the regimen that I do it 7 days. Even after I'm good, I will do certain things the whole entire 7 days. But the black seed oil, I would just do that as a, heavy balm upon sickness the first, as the symptoms persist, and I would take the recommended dosage. And then the other thing that I have coming is licorice root. I had a sore throat. Felt like my throat was closing up. Actually, my throat was closing up. Inflammation. And I had all of these tablets that I was taking, and I couldn't swallow them. So, in desperation, because I felt like I was just going to close up and I wasn't going to be able to breathe, not corona, something else. It probably was strep throat, because at the time my son had strep throat too. And that's how I know many of these things work, because I've been through something similar before. But licorice root, I cracked that capsule open. I didn't know what it tastes like. I don't like black licorice, but the licorice root was sweet, and it hit my throat, and it numbed it. It wasn't even numb. It soothed my throat completely, like no pain, like inflammation gone. Like it didn't. I had to, keep on doing it, because after like an hour or so, or 3 hours, the pain came back. But I got some licorice root on the way. I know that it works, and I will have information below more about all three. Well, maybe not the black seed oil, because that's one of those things that are people tested. I don't think, maybe I will. I have more information below about those things, and about other things that I talk about in this video. And I will link little recipes somewhere on the screen as I talk about them. I also want to say that I have experience with viral things, and because viruses are able to adapt, you have to attack them at least every 30 minutes. You have to be doing something. And my whole thing is, it's a lot of work versus just popping an antibiotic. But at least with the way that God intended it, with the natural way, you don't wreak havoc on your body. You actually are just solely attacking what is attacking you. So it's like every 30 minutes, something, especially the first day and the second day and the third day as symptoms persist. Really, the first day, I put out the big guns the first day, and then the second day is normally easier. By the third day, stuff is, almost back to normal. But I will continue on some sort of a regimen until the whole 7 days has passed. My son had strep, and we continued on for 10 days, and that's how long you would be on an antibiotic too. I might tell that story later. The other thing I wanted to say is that, which I will hopefully have a video in the description box below. I know I'm interested in seeing what's in my medicine cabinet, but I just want to give these things before I forget about them. I looked at information, listened to information about what's so serious about this virus, outside of the fact that it's easily able to jump from person to person, and that some people will have symptoms and some people will not, and the people that do not have symptoms are carriers of the virus. It's inflammation, and a lot of these antiviral things that I'm going to mention are anti-inflammation, like the turmeric, like the ginger, because you can take that for a headache. Anti-inflammatory, so God's given natural anti-inflammatories in various different ways. I would partake of them if I were dealing with a COVID type situation. So the last thing I'm going to say before I get into my antivirals, which I'm going to talk about first, is the fact that I was, like I said, I was upset prior to, but I had to realize that there is no, you catch the flu, you go to the hospital, they're going to just be able to try to make you comfortable. They don't have anything for the flu. This thing is, I guess, jumping off from person to person quicker than the flu. But with COVID, you just sit in, they just try to make you comfortable, and hopefully your immune system is strong enough to fight this disease. So I've had the flu before, and I stayed home for the flu. I've had pneumonia before, and I went to the hospital for pneumonia, and I did a video on here about sudden death, and they sent me home for the pneumonia. Those are things they do not have remedy for, and your body has to be able to deal with those those particular things because there is no antibiotic that they can give you for them. And I had to remember this, like, calm down. God has made a way. There is provision. There are things that they don't even touch that I know to be helpful and supporting of the body and killing things that are trying to come against, or ridding the body of things that are trying to come against life. So let's get right into it. The staple. Oh, some honorable mentions are lemon and honey, and I will link the recipes here. I do teas with them, and syrups. I don't know how to better explain it. The honey is the base, and then I add things that are antibacterial, antiviral, etc., with that so it doesn't have to hurt to fight disease. And you don't want to take sugar. Like, of course I eat fruits and things like that, but you don't want to take like white processed sugar during times of sickness, because sugar is the fuel for anything bad that's happening in the body, unless it's laced with something that I'm going to mention at the end. I mean, a little bit further on. But staple, garlic. Garlic, I will take the whole 7 days. The first day, I will take 3 medium-sized garlics. Cut them up, leave them on the counter, like cut one up, leave it on the counter for 5-10 minutes. I heard that's how you activate it. And take that with some water. Morning, noon, and night. First day, baseline. And all throughout the 7 days, I will be doing this, along with other things. As when I am, like, after 3 days, basically, it's how long I see things typically last. I'll just do one medium garlic clove a day, just to let you know you're not coming back, kind of thing. But garlic, I don't mix it with anything. Certainly, you can mix it with that soup that I made, the Gomes soup, which Patrick Delves, I have the video linked below, talks about an antiviral solution that you can make and consume, and the bell peppers and things are in there. He also has a video talking about a syrup that you can make for cold and flu. I'll link that video in the description box below. Hopefully I'll be able to find all these things. But that soup that I made has garlic in it, has onion in it, has the bell peppers that Patrick Delves talks about in it. And I would eat light during this time, and I would not eat anything that was sugar based. I would, do bone broths and things like that. So anyway, garlic. But another staple is ginger. Granted, there are 2 types of ginger. There's this ginger, which is the hot ginger, and then there is ginger that's not hot. Patrick Dale says this is God's radiation. This is God's chemotherapy. This makes conditions uninhabitable for cancer and other things that come against the body. I don't like using the word radiation and chemotherapy, but that's the way that we understand things as far as treatment for things. So this is it. It's anti-inflammatory. It could be taken for headaches. I have not done a video about ginger, but I cook with this ginger. And it's antiviral as well, and anti-inflammatory. So this, and I will mix this with in a tea, in a syrup or cough syrup or whatever. I will put the ginger in there, and again I will have the recipe. And right along with the ginger is turmeric. I don't normally buy turmeric like this. I don't shop brands. I'm just doing this now. I bought another one that gives me more than this, but I normally buy it in the powder form like this. But for this protocol that I'm doing, I have to know how much ginger I'm taking. I mean, not ginger, but turmeric I'm taking. So I have to have it in a tablet form. But what I would do is open up the dosing of, like it says, 3 tablets. I would open up the dosing, mix the ginger in. And oh, let me say, this ginger is hot. I cannot take a teaspoon of this ginger. We're talking about 1/8 of a teaspoon, or 1/4 of a teaspoon, or like, you cannot, it's hot. So it was like, it would be like, I would take half, no, probably like a fourth or eighth of a teaspoon of the ginger in a tea that I've made without, and you can mix other, like echinacea and other things that are beneficial in with your tea, but I like to make the tea from just a cup of hot water, ginger, turmeric, do the recommended dosing of the turmeric, and lemon and honey and some cayenne, and drink that. um, and it does wonders. So turmeric, antiviral, anti-inflammatory. It's a major anti-inflammatory thing. I did a video about it, and the information below will give more information about how these things help in viral situations. Okay, so the next thing, golden seal. My food claim, it's non-GMO. You cannot take this for long periods of time. I think you can't take it for more than a week. To be safe, it's a week. I think it's 2 weeks, but to be safe, it's a week. It taxes on the liver. So right along with that, you're fighting. Might as well support and boost the major hub, which is the liver and the kidneys, the detox systems. And of course, so this means you have to be drinking the proper amount of water. My amount is half the body weight in ounces of water up to a gallon. Flushing stuff out. But golden seal, antifungal, antibacterial, anti-disease, anti things that come against you. Check out the information below. It's quite interesting what golden seal can do. Let's see. The next one is oregano. By the way, garlic can be bought in those tinctures too, but oregano oil. So I had a sore throat, probably strep throat. I didn't go to the doctor. My son went to the doctor. But I probably figured I probably had gotten it too. So anyway, this is hot as well. Just like the garlic is hot, this is hot. And I would take the recommended dosage as just like if stuff starts to flare up, I would just do, it's only 6 drops, and the 6 drops are hot. I mean, you can mix them in water if you want to. You have to mix, I think it says, it doesn't say, but you would have to mix it in a lot of water not to be able to taste how hot this stuff is. But I would just use this throughout the day as, like, don't mess with me. Like, if things start to flare up, boom, 6 drops in. Antiviral, antibacterial. I believe it's antifungal as well. But check out the information below. So, I think that's all of my antivirals. If I forgot something, I will list it at the end of the video. Hopefully I did not. So I would not do all of those things every day. Some of them I would do oh, I did forget something. Where is it? Hold on. I did forget something. So I have experimented with this little crystal gem here. Not turmeric, turpentine. Here, turmeric, not turmeric, turpentine. Gum spirit turpentine has not been personally tested by me for viral situations. I'm not recommending anyone consume it. However, it is said to be a powerful remedy for many ailments. Maximum dosages of turpentine should not be consumed for more than 3 days consecutively. Also, an enema should be performed after repeated use. Consuming more than a teaspoon a day is dangerous. Turpentine must be accompanied with the carrier, sugar. I recommended it to anyone, but I'm a believer. Definitely anti-parasitic. I have not redone this cleanse, by the way, but it's the carrier is that I found safe is sugar. Wouldn't normally eat sugar when you're dealing with bacterial or fungal things that are attacking the body, but if it's laced with this, let it come on. Also with this, never having tried it, I would not, there's a toxic amount, I believe it's 3 tablespoons. The dosing per day is nowhere near 3 tablespoons. It's a teaspoon, 1 teaspoon. Or is it 1 tablespoon is the toxic amount? I think it's one tablespoon. Anyway, you don't get anywhere near, I did not get anywhere near the toxic amount. The dosing per day is a teaspoon. But not taking this, I would do a half of a teaspoon with sugar. And like I said, the sugar is going to be enticing, but also going to be the death of whatever comes to try to eat on it or utilize the sugar, because it's going to be laced with turpentine. So there's no information about turpentine. Dr. Daniels is my source. My mother also talked about turpentine and how her mother used to use it. She used to use it topically, rub it on the stomach when there were things going on in the stomach. So day one, the thing that I would do would be some turpentine to let it know I'm not playing with you. You're going to get up out of here. So that's my other antiviral. Across the board, it can be used for a lot of things. And I don't think I will have any information below about that. But you can check out some of my videos that I did with the turpentine to address the thing that I was facing. So those are the antivirals. I don't think I mentioned it, but I would definitely eat light during this time, and I would also boost my immune system. So all of these things are, of course, immune system boosting, but more specifically, they're antiviral, and a lot of them are anti-inflammatory. And the thing with the corona is that it causes inflammation, and that is why people are not able to breathe. It blocks the bloodway that blood flows past or through or the lung area, and so the lung is not able to get oxygen, which exacerbates the inflammation. So I did a cleanse, vitamin C cleanse, and I would do it again. I'm not doing it currently, and I will publish the video getting up to date about what I am currently doing. It doesn't say what I'm currently doing, but it says what I'm not doing. But I got this as a result of a Patrick Dale's drink that he recommended that was anti-cancer, and orange peels are anti-cancer. They prevent the cancer from spreading, producing, or creating a blood supply. So I got orange peels specifically, and I would, if I didn't have these peels, I would get vitamin C and do me a vitamin C flush if I had come down with something like. But I would use this along with the ginger and the turmeric, and the lemon, and make some sort of a tea and do this like 3 times a day to boost my vitamin C. This, I do not recommend for this because it doesn't tell you the dosing of vitamin C that you're getting. It just says, how much to take, but it doesn't tell you how much disease fighting vitamin you're getting. So vitamin C. And then another thing that I did a video on was zinc. And it was in my lymphatic smoothie madness video. So I would pick up on my raspberry, and there is something in the raspberry that is antiviral as well. And the way that, I think I will link that video in the description box below. But zinc and selenium. The selenium came in one of these commercials that came in on YouTube. Talked about, one of the doctors that I do believe is also credible, talked about how selenium supports the immune system, but I also know that selenium is a cancer fighter as well. So might as well, the doctor specifically said selenium in a situation with COVID, with viral things. So I thought this was a pretty good supplement to get. It doesn't have any food claims on the outside, but Dr. McCullough, I believe he's a credible source. And a lot of the ingredients in here are organic. So I don't know why it's all not organic, but I'm going to, if I were to come down with something, this is something that I would take to boost my immune system. The other thing that I have that I don't have in front of me is trace minerals. I already know from experience that when there's times of stress, and definitely fighting COVID and fighting viruses is a time of stress in the body is exhausting the resources. So it's It's pulling out of the bank minerals, vitamins, and nutrients to fight the threat upon the body. So I would do trace minerals. I would take, like day one, I probably would take 2 of the recommended trace minerals because I know that the body is spending it to fight off the threat. And then, like, if the symptoms persist, I would do 2. And then, as if I felt like 100%, I would just do for the 7 days the one, recommended dosing of the trace minerals. But making sure that the funds are available to pay my security forces. That is the name of the game. Of course, doing my fruits and vegetables, my astringent fruits, not probably laying off meat during that time, definitely not doing things like cookies and candy and stuff like that, and resting and taking it easy. And that is how, in my head, I would go about such a threat. Um, I pray for everybody out there. I pray everybody be at peace. I pray that this video helps someone put things in perspective. I know that information is on overload. I don't watch it anymore. One, I already got my confirmation. I've had the flu and I've had pneumonia. So they were not able to be treated by the medical professional world. The difference that I'm seeing with this particular virus is that it's jumping off really quickly. It's easily spreadable. So it's like they have a lot of people that they have to treat, make comfortable to treat the symptoms. And rather than doing what I'm hearing that they recommend, which is if you're infected but you have no symptoms, go home and isolate yourself. And if that was me, then I would go home and I would start in on my regimen of I'm not going to be your carrier. I would start taking stuff to fight off antiviral things and things to boost my immune system so that while I was home, I wasn't able to, it wasn't going to be using me to spread, and also that it wouldn't come to a point to where I would have to be hospitalized. So from what I'm seeing, when people are being hospitalized, they don't have pharmaceutical remedy for this. So they make the people comfortable with these respirators. And if that was me, pack my bag and you open these capsules and give me my stuff. I don't want none of their food. Give me some of their, cleansed water, and I would just start treating on myself on that respirator in the hospital. Like, I know that God has a remedy for this. I know that there is a way out. That's Bible. I believe that's all that I wanted to say. Until next time, thanks for watching.